Hi, everyone. I just saw the very sad news that once again another great artist has passed away. John Lodge from the Moody Blues. As you know, some of you know on my channel, in the last, I would say, 3 years or so, I I finally realized, I always really liked the Moody Blues, but it was just in the last, like I said, 2 or 3 years, I became a huge fan of their music. They were definitely one of the best bands from the 60s and 70s. Days of Future Past, of course. I don't have their debut album yet. In Search of the Lost Chord. On the Threshold of a Dream. To our children's children. A Question of Balance. Every Good Boy Deserves Favor. Seventh Sojourn. And Long Distance Voyager, of course. So I haven't read this yet. And this, I guess, just happened in the last hour or so, the announcement. Announcement from John Lodge's family. It is with the deepest sadness that we have to announce that John Lodge, our darling husband, father, grandfather, father-in-law, and brother, has been suddenly, unexpectedly taken from us. As anyone who knew this massive-hearted man knows, it was his enduring love of his wife, Kirsten, and his family that was the most important thing to him, followed by his passion for music and his faith. He was never happier than being on stage. He was just a singer in a rock and roll band, and he adored performing with his band and son-in-law, John, vocalist with Yes. Yeah, I kind of forgot that, but yeah. And being able to continue sharing this music with his fans, it gave him even more joy to be able to work with his daughter Emily and son Christian and spend time watching his grandson John Henry play football and dream of him playing for Birmingham City one day. John peacefully slipped away surrounded by his loved ones and the sounds of the Everly Brothers and Buddy Holly. We will forever miss his love, smile, kindness, and his absolute and never-ending support. We are heartbroken, but will walk forwards into peace surrounded by the love he had for each of us. As John would always say at the end of the show, thank you for keeping the faith. Please understand that we are not making any further comments. However, we would like to leave you with John's song Whispering Angels, whilst we can take a moment to reflect on this incredible man who touched so many lives. Yeah, it's, rock and roll is, we're going to be losing a lot of these great artists. I know that, Justin Hayward, he must be, I don't know what their relationship was like, the last few years, but I'm sure he's devastated, of course. And, yeah, he was like the whole band, right? I even did a video of top 10 bands, with the most talent within the band, and the Moody Blues was one of those that I talked about. Yeah, I know that he was touring this past summer, and he was gonna, continue touring in December, singer in a rock and roll band, an evening packed full of Moody Blues classic hits. And there's his tour dates from the past summer. So yeah, it's just, more sad news. And, like I said, this is going to continue, sadly. And, that's why I've noticed on YouTube, just especially with a couple of YouTube channels, it's so negative with these older artists, and it's like it's just so much negativity on YouTube about certain artists that, I had to unsubscribe from a couple of channels that I actually really liked, because every video is like negative. It's putting down artists that I love. I just did a video yesterday, of course, on Paul McCartney, but it's, about his archive edition, hoping that it would continue with London Town and Back to the Egg, but I'm not putting down Paul McCartney himself, right? Or how he's sounding in concert or anything, because we're lucky to have him around, right? He's still performing. And so I just try my best to stay away from a lot of negativity. And we've lost another, great rock artist, John Lodge. So I would love your thoughts on, the Moody Blues. What are your memories of them? And I love this, about talking about music and being hopefully more positive than negative. What your favorite songs are by John Lodge, and your memories of the Moody Blues, if you've seen them in concert. I never had the privilege of seeing them in concert, of course. But anyway, rest in peace, John Lodge. Thanks for watching.